You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
This is the strangest feeling I have ever had doing a show. I am starting a show today where the Astros just got bleep kicked 8-1 to the Mariners. They had a player commit 4 errors in the game. 4. They committed 5 as a team. I don't have a worry in the world. Just bizarre. Because the game matters nothing to the Astros. Just like the next 3 games will as well. But don't worry. We are going to preview those 3 games against the Cleveland Guardians coming up in just a few minutes as well. As this is our chance over the next few days to honestly just kind of hang out and relax together on the Locked On Astros Postcast. You guys want to pour into the comments if you have questions for me. You want to make your opinions known, whatever it might be. Pour those questions and stuff in. We'll get to some of them throughout the show today. Because, look, again, we're not going to do an in-depth breakdown of this game very much. What's the point, right? These games do not matter. They don't have to win these games. And guess what? Today they played like a team that got drunk last night in a clubhouse and went out and lost today with all the backups in. And that's completely fine. Do you want to lose games all the time? No. Do you want to let losing set in a little bit? No. I'm not worried about it at all, but you'd like to win at least a couple of games, you think, or at least a game between now and the end of the regular season as well. This episode is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your baseball rivals. Book today on Booking.com, the official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball. Get the Booking.com app today. Well, I did want to talk about the Whit Camaras for a second. That poor guy. Talk about having a rough day at the ballpark. Not fun. Not fun at all. 4 errors for him. The Astros commit 5 errors in a baseball game. 5 errors. It's insanity. That's the first time Yusei Kikuchi has lost as an Astro, by the way. Didn't deserve to lose. 6 innings, 2 runs. Neither of them were earned. But the Astros end up losing 1 game that he starts in the regular season. And honestly, we go back and we look at it. And I'm not even going to bother with Dubin or Ferguson had a clean inning today or Neris at the end. There's a reason why the Cubs let go of Neris. But the Kikuchi deal was a good deal. I know that it's still a lot, and you can still hate the overall package that you gave up. I've talked about that plenty on here. But the Astros went out today and got another brilliant start out of Yusei Kikuchi overall. Missing bats, getting strikeouts, 8 of them across 6 innings. You just go pull up his numbers. It's unbelievable, the story. He ended up making 10 starts for the Astros after making 22 with Toronto. With Toronto, he went 4-9 with a 4.75 ERA in those 22 starts, 115 and 2/3 innings, 130 strikeouts to 30 walks. And I always like to bring up this number because it's impressive. 125 hits were allowed in those 115 and 2/3 innings with Toronto. After arriving in Houston, 10 starts, 5-1 record, 2.70 ERA across 60 innings, allowed just 42 hits, had 76 strikeouts, just 14 walks. His batting average against as an Astro, 188. As a Blue Jay, it was 272. His whip, which is walks, hits, innings pitched, 1.34 as a Blue Jay, a career best 0.93 during his stint with the Astros. With no other team has he had a whip below 1. And yes, it's 10 starts. I get that. But that man made himself a decent amount of money in his time here. Will it be here with the Astros? Who knows? I'm sure that he's feeling the love right now. I'm sure that he is feeling comfortable here and appreciative of what they've done for him and getting him going in the right direction to where he would like to continue his career here. Got Scott Boras involved. Just go run through his games real quick, which when they made this trade, I was as loud about it as anybody else. The guy was awful. And he was coming off of a month where, in the month of July, before they got him, he made 5 starts and had a 6.59 ERA in that month. A 6.26 ERA the month before. He was coming off 2 consecutive months where he had an ERA in the month over 6. In August with the Astros, he made 6 starts, had a 2.57 ERA. In September, 4 starts, 2.88. He went 5 2/3, 2 runs. 5 1/3, 2 runs. 5 2/3, 1 run. 5 2/3, 3 runs, but 1 earned. That was it. 5 2/3, 3 runs. 7 innings, 1 run. 6 innings, 4 runs. It was only start. They still won the game. He still got the win. 7 innings, 3 runs. 6 innings, 1 run. 6 innings, 2 runs, 0 earned today. Guy was masterful. And when the postseason starts here in a few days, the Astros are going to hand the ball to Framber Valdez in Game 1. They will hand the ball to Hunter Brown in Game 2. And if there is a decisive Game 3 of the wild card round, Yusei Kikuchi will get the baseball, and he deserves to get the baseball. And if he doesn't get the baseball, if they finish it in 2, if they're able to, then he would start Game 1 of the American League Division Series in Cleveland, in all likelihood, against the Guardians, who the Astros will play this weekend. Now, it's not locked in. Cleveland is still in a fight with the Yankees for the number 1 seed in the postseason. We'll see how that goes this weekend. They're a game and a half out of the Yankees for that record. So maybe they're going to be gunning for it. Maybe not. I do not know. We'll see. But in all likelihood, it's going to be the Astros facing Cleveland in that ALDS if they get through the wild card round. But with those 2 guys pitching in the first 2 games, I mean, look, you're going to feel like you're going to win those games. Just is what it is. When you have your 2 best starters going, that's how you feel. And Yusei Kikuchi, again, is going to be the 3rd guy. Who's going to be number 4? I think it has to be Ronel Blanco. I know that there could be some value to Blanco in being a bullpen arm. But look, the name of the game in the postseason is to go out there and give yourself your best opportunity to win the game. Right? And if you don't put your 4 best starters, because you're only using 4-man rotations in the postseason. But if you don't use your 4 best starters, you're making a mistake. Because the other 2 decisions, or the other 2 options that you have, one's a rookie, and the other one's a 41-year-old pitcher who looks washed at the moment. But we'll see. You got to win that wild card round the first time. And I'm going to sneeze real quick. Hold on. I think that's a first on this show. I think we've made it all these months doing these postcasts, and I have not sneezed once. So, congratulations to you. And we'll see who they get, by the way, in this wild card round. Right now, as it sits with the standings, it would be because I believe the Tigers have the tiebreaker over the Royals. They have the same record. So the Tigers would be the 2nd wild card. They play Baltimore. The Astros would play Kansas City. That's just wild. Detroit's going to end up in the postseason. But again, the American League, it's so winnable. It is so winnable. We're watching it happen right now. So we'll see what happens. the Astros, they lose today, excuse me, and it is what it is. Was it the last moment of a regular season game in an Astros uniform for Alex Bregman? We'll discuss that next here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Booking.com. That's right, Booking.com, the website for you. If you're looking to get out this postseason and go watch the Astros on the road, use the Booking.com app. You know why? Because the Booking.com app is going to get you in the right spot at a great deal, wherever it might be that you're going to be traveling this country, and it's going to make you a fan of whatever city that you are in this October, watching those Astros try to once again go all the way. That's what they're trying to do. You can explore all those cities with either the hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com. You might just find your perfect stay, even in your baseball's rival city during the postseason. Could be New York, I've had a lot of trips in the past going to watch these Astros play in the postseason on the road. You guys do a great job of traveling. Use the Booking.com app today to go ahead and get that travel locked in for the postseason. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be absolutely awesome. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your baseball rivals. Booking.com. Booking. Yeah, one more reminder before we get back to our Astros discussion. I'm going to tell you about FanDuel. NFL fans, you can now start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Locked On Astros Postcast here on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm your host, Michael Connor. Thank you for stopping by. It's the end of the season. These games do not matter now for the Astros, and the Astros are, well, they're just waiting for the season to come to an end. And last night they got to pop that champagne. They got to drink their beer. They partied hard. And here they are. 3 games left to play against Cleveland. One of the moments from the baseball game today. Oh, by the way, if you're new to this channel today, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps this channel continue to grow, which it has grown so quickly. We're getting closer and closer now to 2,100 subscribers. You guys are awesome. Seriously, awesome. This weekend, we'll have all kinds of good stuff for you as well, with baseball, bat, and football across the channel. So go ahead and get yourself locked in for that. The Astros, excuse me, after I sneeze now, my nose is just going absolutely nuts. If you're looking for this show on podcast, wherever you get your podcast, go and search for the Locked On Astros show. You'll get this show and the Locked On Astros show right there for free. Cost you nothing. Brett and Eric do a great job on the Locked On Astros show, so make sure you guys are checking that out every single day. They'll be talking Astros as they get into the postseason, and they'll be talking Astros once the season is over as well. This channel, look, I'd love to do some shows where we did some off-season talk, but this channel is for the post-game shows. So once baseball season's over, my time of talking baseball for the year will be done. And we'll be back to talking baseball again next year when the season kicks back up. We'll be doing basketball and football between now and then. So I'll miss it, and I'm hoping that the Astros don't, find a way to end the postseason quickly. I want it to go very, very very quickly as well. Hey, the Astros today had a cool moment, I guess. Alex Bregman came out after the third inning. They do that's the managerial move. You do the veteran right. You let him go out. He does his warm-ups out there, takes a couple ground balls, and then you say, hey, come on back in. Let's get you out of the game. And Bregman, because he's so about that business that he's so focused on what he's got in front of him, he didn't really take a lot of time to hey, thanks. But it was still cool to see because it could be his last regular season home game as an Astro. I'm telling you, after the Altuve thing the other day that we talked about, where Altuve's kind of speaking out about it, maybe it's convinced me that the Astros are about to change their typical ways. And having Altuve say something is going to make Jim Crane go, okay, got to pay somebody some money. And, we've had our arguments about it all season long. I've gotten mad at him. I mean, he was a dumpster fire early in the season. Dumpster fire. He was part of the reason why they were so bad. A big part of it. They needed him to be good, and he was just a disaster up there. But he's turned his season around quite a bit. Is it perfect? No. I mean, do you want him to be a 250 hitter every year? No. Not the worst thing in the world. The thing with him it gets back to is his discipline this season was just atrocious, which has never been the case. I mean, this is a guy that every year, you go back and look at it. His first full season in the big leagues, he went 55 walks to 97 strikeouts. Then he went 96 to 85, 119 to 83. COVID season 24 to 26. Injured in 2021, 44 to 53. That's not a huge disparity. 2022, he went 87 walks to 77 strikeouts. Last year, he went 92 to 87. This year, he's 44 walks to 86 strikeouts. I'm telling you, it screams to an extent because he got off to such a bad start. So bad. It screams a guy that's chasing his numbers to get him back up because of the payday he's trying to get. Now, look, he did get some numbers back. His last 3 seasons, he's not been much of an average hitter. 259, 262, 256. But if he was in a normal season like he was the last couple of years where he's getting on base at a high clip, still getting on base at a 366 clip and a 363 clip, okay, that's good. This year, it's 313. The OPS is above league average, 760. But those last 2 years, even in years where he didn't hit for a lot of average, he still had an OPS over 800. He's a career 847 OPS. Popped his most home runs since 2019 so far this year. He's got 26 of them. Going to be his lowest runs driven in total for over the last couple of years. I think in large part where he was at in the order and just moving around. And then, the Astros team wasn't very consistent at times driving in runs. But I'm going to be honest with you. If he replicated these seasons and just added a little bit more on base percentage and played the defense that he typically plays at third base, yeah, I mean, you can overextend for that a little bit. Not a lot. You can't do anything silly and stupid. And I don't think anybody's going to do anything silly or stupid. I don't think he reaches the $200 million mark. He's not deserving of it. He's had a great career, but he's not a $200 million player. The Chapman deal the other day with the Giants was at 157, I think it was, for the 6 years or whatever. That kind of sets the bar. I mean, I think, 6 for 175? What's that come out to? You make me pull out my calculator right now. 175 divided by 6. Almost 30 a year. He's making 30 this year. I think it's a fair offer. And if he doesn't want it, then he doesn't want it. But this has kind of been the back and the forth of this era of Astros baseball. Has it crushed them to lose the players that they've lost over the years? No. But that was always with the backdrop of they have guys waiting. Okay, they let Correa go. Well, they had Pena coming. Is he Carlos Correa when he's at his peak? No, of course not. But Jeremy Pena is an above league average shortstop that can be the best defensive shortstop in the game, and then on top of that, can at times get just red hot at the plate. but he's not Carlos Correa at the plate. But they survived that. They had somebody waiting. Okay, back in the day, they let Garrett Cole walk. It's hard to deal with. You never were going to keep him, of course. But they had a billion other pitchers that have come in and helped them basically never lose a step. They've won World Series since then. They let George Springer walk. George hadn't gone to the playoffs. I shouldn't say that. He's gone to a postseason with Toronto, but he's not won a playoff game in Toronto since he left here. And he's declined rapidly. But you had Kyle Tucker waiting. I keep saying that because if you do let Alex Bregman walk, you do not have an Alex Bregman replacement. Shea Whitcomb is not that guy. DeCinzo, not going to be that guy. You don't have it. So do you want to let him walk and just hope and pray that your internal options are better than the external options, or are you going to spend some money? And if you're going to spend money on somebody from the outside, spend it on your own guy. Just do it. These are problems for a month from now. But I do think that just letting him walk away without a solution to the problem would be a big mistake this October. Hopefully he goes out there and has himself a postseason to remember. He lifts his third trophy with the Astros. And if that's it, then that's it. We'll never have to eat his bad salsa. I didn't say that. His new salsa sucks. But I'll eat a jar of it right here if he helps the Astros win a World Series. We'll eat it live on the show. Final few minutes here of the Locked On Astros Postcast. Let's look ahead to the weekend, what you need out of it, if anything. That's next. Hey, maybe you're looking to get into the big games, the big events, whatever it might be. Well, why don't you right now go on your phone and download the Game Time app? They've got tickets for every big event out there, and it is a great spot. If you're like me, you love to play the last-minute game for tickets. Oh, yeah, baby. Game Time app is where it is at. On this app, they have a beautiful feature that you have to go in there in the app and hit you have to toggle this feature in the app to see it. But it shows you, when you have it on, the all-in pricing. Yeah, all-in pricing. That way, when you get to checkout, you're not surprised with a bunch of fees. You already know ahead of time what you're going to get. And as always, my favorite part of the app, the seat views. You know, you could buy tickets to something and just hope and pray that it's good. Why would you do that? You can look at the picture on your phone and see how your seats look and then go sit in them. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Locked On Astros Postcast continues on a Wednesday afternoon. I am Michael Connor, of course, your host. Thanks for stopping by. Whether you are at work, hopefully you're not driving and watching, you're just driving and listening as you go. We'll be with you again tomorrow night after the Astros. Not tomorrow night, excuse me. The Astros have the night off tomorrow night. Let's go. Night off. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do myself, but I don't know what I'm going to do myself. They'll be back in action Friday night, 6:10 first pitch out in Cleveland against the Guardians. We'll be live after that one wraps up. Of course, these games don't matter, but this is a go out there and get some innings in. Ronel Blanco is going to start game one of that series. See how long they let him go. Joey Cantillo will go for Cleveland. 5:10 Saturday night. Justin Verlander makes maybe his last start with the Astros. Up against Ben Lively. For Verlander, he's always done great against Cleveland. We'll see if that continues. Then Sunday, neither team has decided on starters because they're going to wait and see on what it looks like. If Cleveland isn't playing for anything, I think like the Astros, they will be just throwing out all their, like, that day screams, Sean Dubin, give me as many throws as you can, please, for the Astros. We'll see exactly what happens. But a series that they don't need by any means. But the end goal is to go out there and not get hurt. That's it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. Hope that you enjoy the day off tomorrow on Thursday. I will talk to y'all after the game Friday night right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.